I think we all know this. HuQAS has been around for quite a while, for about 23 years now. And we've been providing these services with some bit of experience in terms of ISO accreditation. We got accredited before the standard ISO 17043-2010 came about. We got accredited to the ISO guide to it, ISO guide 43. And since then, we've maintained the accreditation with a great team behind it. And we provide these services with a mission to provide the services with as much integrity, as much reliability and accuracy to your results. And all of this is totally achieved by the feedback that we get from you, either by the email communications that we send by survey or by the conversations from the technical support team. All of that is able to guide us into what we need to improve on. And I'm glad to say that that has helped us scale up in terms of numbers. So we've at least touched 23 countries so far in Africa. This changes from cycle to cycle, but and of course around 300, above 300 labs touched, which is really good for us. The EQA program, once it began, of course, it branched out to have trainings to seal the gaps that we were finding in the EQA, and CMEs, which are more or less 1 hour sessions per day at our clients, and of course the yearly conference, which we are currently in. In that same journey, spearheaded by a quality manager, we began the mentorship program in 2018, and it has been going on well. I'll have a slide on that specifically. This is a list of our EQA programs. I'll not belay this because you already have this in each and every single bag. And if you haven't passed through the HuQAS booth, please kindly do. The panels are quite wide, and we've had a few changes this year. In our clinical chemistry, there is an additional CRP in the monthly one. It started in the monthly one and then worked its way into the quarterly one. EID and HPV are some of the most recent panels, and as well as spam analysis is one of the upcoming ones. There's a collaboration between ourselves and two very tall gentlemen who will be speaking here later on today in way of this, LabLogix Limited, and of course towards the end there, TB Lam. So EQA started and of course brought about other arms of the organization. For HuQAS, that means CPD trainings, and the CPD trainings are quite a number. We offer these on-site at your facilities or in our training center or in our lab, because we have a lab that caters for malaria microscopy trainings and so on. Those have had the pleasure to experience the same. Kindly share your experiences. But just to prove that we actually do have a lab, that's how it looks. This is the last year's andrology training. One of the tall gentlemen is there, and the other one is bent, taking notes there. And this was the andrology training in last year, June. We are still looking forward for more enrollments onto this. Malaria microscopy, as always, in February this year. And then, of course, we also have biosafety, biosecurity. We had this with on-site. This was on-site. That's the Penda team, Penda Health team at their facility. So this was more of a custom-made training where we agree with the management that this is the figures for the venue, these are the figures for the facilitators, how can we work out something that makes sense. We also had another one for on-site, which was in Kericho County. And the team was very vibrant and again, custom-made. So what did it mean? It meant that Kericho County could invite other facilities in the vicinity to be able to fill the class. And as well, they were able to train in shifts. So you had a first cohort that went for the first 3 days and a second cohort that went for the last 3 days. That meant that the lab processes would not stop. And I think that was a brilliant work from the team. And then method validation as well. This is in our offices where we have more theoretical trainings. We have a majority Kemri Kilifi team here that I can see. We have a majority James Finley and quite a number of other teammates from the labs and IRC. Outside of the trainings, we have workshops. Now, workshops is a one-day smaller mini conference. We do these to discuss specific issues to do with EQA or to highlight how to root cause where labs could be going wrong. And we had not done this for a while. It was abruptly stopped during the COVID period, but I'm glad to say that we managed to have one this year in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. And it was really good. We expected 20-something, but we ended up with around 30 attendees. And the president of the Association for Medical Lab as well attended, and in the same way as the chair for the board assisted us to give the participants their CPD points for their attendance. So that was actually a really good experience for us and a really good reception. So outside of the workshop I had mentioned, there's the mentorship aspect. The journey is quite long. It builds and bolsters relationships between HuQAS staff and the organization that we are mentoring because it's an entire journey. That journey there, it's a long one. So you can only imagine what it takes to come up defining gaps, tackling real issues in the workforce, tackling cultural issues in the workforce, having all of that pour into some SOPs and trying to eliminate biasness on a day-to-day basis with a mentor at HuQAS. It bolsters a lot of relationships. So in our past, we have had successes on the same through Outspan Hospital where they got accredited. But currently we do have 2 projects running. International Organization for Migration Nairobi office and the International Cancer Institute in Eldoret. These are still continuing, and that's basically my piece. Mine was to just share with you what we have done this year in way of all of those 3. And I will not belay because, as mentioned by our moderator, it's a Friday, right? And some people have not touched the sun since they landed. So that's from me. And again, I appreciate you all for being here with us and have a great day.